Hello everyone, I'm Adam Papagan. Welcome to another episode of There's a Place, the ASMR talk show. The show that feels good to hear. So, when you're out there today, something I've known, but I was kind of thinking about it today. Life is not all that exciting. Sure, there are exciting moments, it can be exciting. But just day to day, if you're just sitting around waiting for something to happen to you, you're going to be waiting a long time. Sometimes you got to just grab the bull by the horns and make your own excitement for the day. So I'm working on a new project, which I'll tell you all about when the time comes. But it's going to be related to tabloid newspapers, kind of like the juicing show, the OJ show that we did here at Trombox. But so we need, doing research on tabloids. And find an ad on Craigslist. There's a guy offering to sell 900 issues of the Sun. Sun, Star News. Star News, one of those tabloids. He didn't have any Inquirer. They're like lower grade ones than the Inquirer. We got 900 of them. So I was like, okay, I'll go take a look. So we call the guy out, make arrangements to go over there. He's living in Santa Monica, which is, a ritzy area. But, when you talk to someone over the phone, you can just tell they're probably a hoarder. That's what happens. So I go over to his house, it's in this nice neighborhood, but it's just one of these, stuff piled up on the front porch, no front lawn, it's all just dirt. There are these two older guys living there. It's like it was maybe an inheritance or something, and then one of the guys moved a roommate in. I don't know, it was tough, but go around the back to where these magazines are stored. And hoarders always have the best stuff, so I was looking forward to seeing some stuff. But I go around the corner, and all the magazines are in this back shed. And I turn the corner, and there's like 15 chickens just out. And people keep chickens, but it's not a Santa Monica thing. And they have all different types, the brown kind, the black and white, speckled kind. They're that new kind of chicken that's gotten popular in the last couple years that has kind of like the shaggy feathers. It's got kind of like a little thing on its head, and then maybe on the feet, but it's kind of it's like more like a showy kind of chicken than maybe when you get your eggs from. But they're all, milling about and pecking at the magazines and stuff. And, another person, your average person might have thought, okay, there's chickens in this yard, I'm gonna step in chicken poop. I'm digging through loose papers to find what's going on. But I just thought, that's just another day. And even if I don't find any magazines, at least I'll have this story and this experience. And whenever I'm in the neighborhood, I can always think, that hoarder house has chickens. Did get some magazines though, a lot of stuff. Tanya Harding, John Bonet. There's a lot of, so look out for the tabloid show coming soon. And don't be afraid of hoarder houses. Some of the best stuff. Folks, my guest tonight is a comedian. We knew each other kind of, just as acquaintances or whatever, but we ran into each other the other night. He was asking me all these questions about this show, There's a Place. And I said, hey, why don't you hold your questions till Wednesday night and come ask them right on the show. Just, 'cause that's the kind of democratic show of the people that we are here at There's a Place. If you have a question even about it, you're curious about it, you're not sure what it is, you're invited on the show to find out firsthand. And I do extend that to anyone watching. If you want to be on the show, send me an email or whatever, get in touch. But anyways, very funny comedian. Please welcome Chris Sanders. Chris.
Hey, doing well. So.
Oh, I'm doing good. I'll tell you what, I'm pretty full. I just had dinner like right before you came.
Okay.
I went to Pioneer Chicken.
I saw it. Yeah, I got lost on the way here and I saw it.
Yeah. Do you ever do that? It only happens at chicken restaurants, but if you go to a fast food chicken restaurant right when it's closing, they'll just give you the rest of the chicken.
I've had that just during the day, despite being like a nice guy, maybe telling a corny joke. Like, hey man, just like here, have an extra macaroni, have an extra chicken.
Yeah, the chicken places, they'll hook you up.
Yeah, El Pollo goes down that once or twice. Yeah. But then again, I lived on that street, so we were like first name basis.
Still, but like, you would never get that at like Burger King.
I don't know, you know, you're right. I mean, sometimes you can't get it your way, you know. El Pollo chicken, or chicken in general, yeah, chicken places.
They'll just, maybe it's because, with the burger places, it's just like a patty. It's when you're thinking of like the ingredients and it's a commodity. The chicken, there's just so many chickens, whole chickens, like this entire animal.
We have a surplus of chickens. It's like corn and chicken.
Yeah.
Just way too many.
Just coming through the door and you just lose count.
Exactly. It's like when you hear about Thanksgiving, Christmas, people hand out turkeys and chicken. No one hands out, beef. No one hands out beef to keep people. That's weird.
It's a mammal. It's a higher order.
Higher order on the what taxonomy of animals.
Yeah.
Out there. So how was the dinner? Was it good? Did it taste?
Yeah,
delicious?
it was good. I was, it'd been sitting all day, I think, but
Okay.
I love Pioneer Chicken.
All right, I have to go there. I have to check it out. I've never heard of it until I came to this part of town.
There's only 2 left.
My God.
It used to be a chain, I think a national chain at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the opposite of pioneers. They're dying out here, like buffaloes or something.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna.
Who were killed off by pioneers.
Yeah, they were killed off by pioneers.
It's just a great circle.
It's funny. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was doing a little bit of research on you prior to this. I love interview shows. I'm a big Terry Gross fan, and I was researching your last name. It means parrot.
In Turkish, that's right.
Turkish, yeah. And it's kind of ironic. Usually people's like surnames dates back to usually a profession their family had. Was your family, were they involved in media, journalism, writing?
No, the last name was originally Papagna.
Okay.
P-A-P-A-G-N-A.
Okay.
And then it was just kind of Americanized.
Sure.
And so it's a made-up word, Papagan.
Okay.
So there are no other Papagans. It's like my family.
Oh, really? Fascinating.
And just our side of, my grandfather is like one of like 12 kids.
Okay.
And just him and our side of the family
All right.
are Papagans.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's very limited. But then, when the internet came out, you Google your name, that's the first thing you do. And these Turkish websites would come up.
Yeah.
And they actually make a sunflower seed. There's a sunflower seed company called Papagan or whatever however it's pronounced in Turkish. And it says it on there on the bag, and it's got the parrot on it. And I found the seeds a couple years ago at a local store.
Really?
Stocked up, and
Wow.
got a bunch for my dad for Father's Day. Got a big kick out of
I
it.
had a little chuckle. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. So someone in Ellis Island gave you your own original branding.
Yeah.
You have your original brand because of some inspector who's like, I don't like your name, but I like this new name.
The parrot.
It's just,
But yeah, to your point of it kind of relating to interviewing or whatever, I have thought about that. But I think that there's connections you can draw from like any points at all.
Yeah.
So, if my last name was like Horsley, I could be like, well, I bring my guests, they ride on my back to a good interview. You know what I mean?
You create these adages to connect your purpose in life sometimes.
The metaphors don't always, pop out. They aren't always the best.
Yeah. That's definitely one that definitely popped up when I was researching you. So.
Yeah. Chris Sanders, do you have were your ancestors, they built sandcastles or anything?
No, well, it's funny. On my mom's side, my mom's Cambodian, right? And from what I understand, prior to the Killing Fields incident in the 70s, I was told that my grandmother, she worked as a maid in the monarchy, like their palace. And I had a grandfather, my mom's mom, was supposedly a police chief. So I had I guess intellectuals and people who were part of the government, local government, municipalities. And at some point I wanted to go to law school, didn't go to law school, joined the military for a little bit. So there's some connections there. And I was told I spoke multiple languages. I don't speak multiple languages, but I love talking in one language, English, to a lot of people. So, yeah.
What was the military like?
I wasn't in very long. I was only in for technically a year and a half, but I was medical, and I gotta say it was definitely a great experience. I joined when I was 25 after college. Most of the people I did boot camp with were 18, 19.
Sure.
So I was tasked with being sort of a leader in boot camp, which I didn't want. I really just wanted to keep to myself and finish. But it definitely taught me a few lessons. If you're in a role of leadership, take responsibility. And I got to meet people that I wouldn't normally have met, in Los Angeles or even in my university. So.
How'd you get out of the military in a year and a half?
Administrative, yeah. So
You can just quit though?
I was reserve.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's only one weekend a month.
Oh, all right.
So the rules are a little bit different than active. Yeah, active duty is a little bit more serious.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst part about being in the military. So if you wanted to like quit and go home, you couldn't.
Well, no. I mean,
You can't just be like, you know what? I don't know why I work here anymore.
I mean, if you want to end up in Leavenworth, I suppose. But once again, there are different rules, regulations for I guess sort of unwritten rules for reserve versus active. I mean, if you're active, you can just leave. I've heard some horror stories of people talking to tennis balls or doing self-harm, things like that. But reserves just kind of stop showing up, which is, probably not great, but it's not the end of the world. You only show up 1 week in a month, so.
Was there ever any danger of you getting deployed or being called up or anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean, I was only in for a year and a half. It was towards the latter end of the Obama administration, and I joined during peacetime. I mean, they were already sort of, what's the word? They weren't surging or anything. They were actually just taking troops out. So, yeah.
How much have you done in that one weekend?
Well, it depends. Sometimes you do training. Sometimes I would do blood draws on Marines, take their temperature, eye exams. We do tests. I mean, you can do a lot. It spans Saturday, Sunday.
You stay overnight?
No. It's 7 to 4 p.m. usually, Saturday and Sunday, 1 week in a month. So you get the most out of your time, though. Yeah.
What was the impetus to join the reserves?
I would say the impetus was after college, I moved out here to Los Angeles to pursue stand-up. And the first year was really rough, or a few was really rough. Went to school for history, but I wasn't really able to get anything better than a minimum wage job. Minored in anthropology, that didn't help either. My sister was active. My father, extremely pragmatic man, even though he went to art school, he was like, yo, you should probably do something a little bit more practical, something that can, if the stand-up thing doesn't work out, pursue that. I was like, all right, I'll do it. It's only 1 week in a month. And so that was the impetus, sort of adding some security to instability.
Do they pay you to be in the reserves?
Yeah, you get paid. So you get paid the 1 week in a month. You get active duty pay during boot camp. When I did the A school, which was the medical program through the Navy, I got paid for that as well. So yeah, you get paid. Yeah.
Right. So it gave you a lot of direction and inspiration for a year and a half.
Yeah, for a year and a half.
For a year and a half. You're very driven.
It definitely taught me what I didn't want to do for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of I've had a lot of experiences like that. I was like, well, don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want that.
Well,
It's kind of burning my way through professions.
But hey, I think that's one of the best things in life. I've probably had well over 10 different jobs. I've been a bike mechanic at a nonprofit bike shop. I work in Beverly Hills. I started as a salesman. Now I'm working in the women's clothes department. I never would have thought I did this at 18. I worked in a hospital when I was doing the medical, more corpsman program. So it's, my father used to always tell me, everything you do sort of ends up becoming a part of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can connect with more people that way, the more environment you're in, so.
I've never had a job, and I've had some bizarre Craigslist jobs.
Sure.
I've never had one where I didn't learn something.
Yeah, there we go, yeah.
What's the weirdest job you ever had?
The weirdest?
Even for a day, a gig, a one time?
Yes. Okay. A lot of people in LA pursuing entertainment or whatever, they work as waiters, servers. I worked as a server one night. One night. It was a friend called me up like, hey, friend of mine's a private chef. He needs some servers. You want a gig? He pays like $150 for the night. I'm like, yeah. So we go up to Big Bear, right? This couple is having a wedding, all right? But the theme of it is Burning Man. So, because they met all these people during their like sort of like engagement phase at Burning Man, and so they had like an official wedding, but they wanted to have a second wedding for their Burning Man friends. So it was pretty gnarly. I saw a lot of fire. I saw some carriages. I saw mimes. I saw clowns. And I'm like, sir, would you like more wine? Yeah, I'd like some more, please. It was interesting.
Does that make you angry to see a Burning Man auxiliary wedding? That's just such a waste of money.
It was a lot of privilege, that's for sure. I wasn't angry. If anything, I was kind of like, wow, I get to witness this. I get to like see this,
So if you had been invited,
you
should have known this couple, you got invited.
Would I have gone?
Yeah, you would have been like, oh, cool.
Yeah, sure. What's funny is like if they invited me, it wasn't because I went to Burning Man.
Like you were friends with them. They're like, hey,
yeah.
Well, Chris, we're having the second wedding, but you're a close friend. You should come anyway.
I would totally be down. Any place that has free food, I'm down.
That's true.
Chicken might be some Pioneer chicken there. You don't know who did the catering. So, yeah, I'd totally be down. But yeah, the parents paid for it. From what I understood, the parents paid for it, so the parents had enough money to pay for 2 weddings. So
weddings are expensive.
Extremely, and
then to have an extra one.
Yeah.
To celebrate your yearly tradition of wasting money. Oh.
Hey man, I guess when you have resources, you don't think about scarcity. When you have extra resources, you're like, scarcity. Yeah, no, I can just spend this. So
it's really like. People have so much money and they just spend on the stupidest things. Like I've started, and I don't stick to it all the time, but homeless people ask you for money on the street.
Yeah.
I've started just like if I have it and I like the person, just give them the $1. Sure. It's $1.
Yeah.
I'll spend $8 a week doing that.
Sure.
That's the price of one drink.
Yeah.
At a bar that I could just not have, and it's like hook all these people up with dollars. Magnify that over like a Burning Man wedding.
Eesh.
You could give like
you could probably help
a tent for like a bunch of people on Skid Row.
You could probably help out people in Standing Rock right now. Give them blankets and stuff.
Yeah.
Help out a small Navajo reservation.
Yeah.
I would hope that when you reach that level of wealth, because that's what it is, it's wealth, that on your free time, you donate maybe to like some foundation in your community, whether it be like a pre-K or something. And sure, you're like spending crazy money on auxiliary wedding, but I would hope that 10% of that goes to the people, gives back. So,
if you were really wealthy to be like philanthropic,
sure,
would you spread around the wealth a little bit here and there, or would you do like a huge, like multi-million-dollar like wing of a hospital donation to one place?
It's funny. I listened to this really good podcast by Malcolm Gladwell, and what I would do is kind of what Andrew Carnegie would do, or a lot of these other sort of like major millionaires would do. I would invest money in the poorest area because they don't get the most endowment. Harvard, Yale, right? These sort of large, they get most endowment. I would find the school district that's Title I. And has the least amount of funding, and just throw in just like millions. And hopefully over time, other people will follow my lead, because usually money follows money. And with, say, over 10 years, maybe a few generations, you can see this community, this population, compete and be better. So that's what I'd do.
The lump, it's Chris Sanders Elementary School.
Yeah. Colonel Sanders Elementary School. We serve Pioneer chicken there.
Yeah. So you're, Chris, I don't know how long you've been out there doing stand-up, how many people you've met, but there's another Chris Sanders.
Yeah, it's funny.
Doing stand-up.
Yeah, and he's an Army guy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's funny. We've had some, like, booking sort of, like, mixers. Someone will, like, message me, like, hey, you want to do the show, Chris? Like, yeah, sure. And I show up, and it's like, wait, you're not Chris Sanders. And they're like, and same things happen with him. So we've had a laugh about it. We were at the Improv once, and on my paper, I had to write the black one. And so like when the guy called the names, like Chris Sanders, the black one, and Chris had to yield, to the black. So yeah, it's pretty funny. We always joke that we're not roast battle comedians, but it'd be funny if we both just roast battled each other. So. Yeah.
Man, what a stupid name this Chris Sanders has got.
Well, we have to compete. There's another Chris Sanders. He's like bigger than both of us.
Who's in Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, he's a director of like Disney movies, and he played Stitch. So, if we make it big, both of us are gonna have to change our names. So.
But for now, you guys are fine sharing.
Oh yeah, we have no. It's not an issue. I do a show on Tuesday in Hollywood, and I'm actually going to have him on my show, and we're going to probably make a few jokes about it. I think it'd be funny if I don't show up and host, he just hosts the show. So
you could probably join forces. Think about how much as the same Chris Sanders. Think about how much ground you could cover.
Oh, that'd be great. And eventually, the other Chris Sanders would like want to get on this, make this a trio.
Because you could just share the material.
Yeah.
It could be the same material.
Yeah.
But, he'll go to open mic over here, you'll go on over here, you'll work it up, you'll get to the shows.
I think it would be great. I think we should do like kind of like what the Jersey Boy did, like my success is your success, So like if I get a book show, the other Chris Sanders has to do it. That's a caveat, So it'd be kind of funny.
Or the other thing that the Jersey Boys did with the Broadway show, you get a Chris Sanders in New York City, you get a Chris Sanders in Dallas.
There we go. I like this.
Yeah.
We could hit all four corners, northeast, southwest, cardinal directions, eventually.
Just to you get a territory.
Yeah. Have you met another, you've never met another Papagan?
No. I think there's some Turkish with the Turkish pronunciation somewhere.
Sure.
With as a name.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell on the Turkish websites because I don't read Turkish.
No, exactly. When you Google your name, I think the first two are English, and then the rest of the search results are all in Turkish.
Wow, I have two search results.
Yeah. No, I didn't see birdseed. I saw you, and then like something else. So yeah.
I guess that's good.
Yeah, man. You can't be duplicated. You can't be emulated. So.
Yeah, I just wish I had a few more. I've been around for a long time, Chris.
You've been
hope I'd have
since
more.
You're 15, man.
I would hope I could, just maybe like the first 5 things could be in English with my name.
Well, you need to have kids, man. You need to have kids, and you need them to get into television and have a wife. She has your last name. Like, you need to spread out the Papagan.
What do you think? Speaking of last names, what do you think about the compound last name, where the wife will keep her last name, and then the kid gets like 2 last names?
I think that's cool. It's like acknowledging the older generation, trying to hold on to what was left. And I think it's like what's funny though, it's like when I was in school and the kid, or like someone had like the hyphenated name, the name would get cut off in the roll call, and then the kid would always correct the teacher. Like I always find it funny when kids correct teachers. So it would allow for more instances of that.
What if this kid grows up with his hyphenated last name? He's going through life, everything's great. He has very liberal parents who believe in not sticking with tradition, but accepting new whatever. And he meets a girl who also has a hyphenated last name, and they get married. That's 4 last names now.
That's almost Latin America right there. That's like Latin America almost.
Yeah. You just pick the 2 that you like the best?
Yeah. So like if I met a lady and her name was like Nina Reich Horowitz, right? And
you pulled that name.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
That's somebody you know, Nina?
I know Nina Reich. She's a friend and a dear friend, but her last name is not Horowitz. But we'll just add Horowitz to it and say we did get married. This is getting awkward if she's watching this. So Nina Reich Horowitz Sanders, right? Is that what we're talking about here?
You also have 2 last names.
So Christopher
Thomas Sanders.
Christopher Thomas Sanders. I'm all down for a sense of humor and jokes. I think it'd be funny, but it wouldn't be practical. And her father would probably take away his permission for me to marry her. He'd probably not in my lifetime.
Maybe the father takes away his half of the last name.
Exactly.
Throws it, so she's Reich Sanders.
Reich Sanders.
Sanders.
Yeesh. Maybe this is foreshadowing.
Would you want to marry this gal?
I've thought about it. I've definitely thought about it. Our friendship goes really, really far back. It's funny. At one point we actually had like a marriage pact kind of thing drafted. We talked about it, but then at some point it's like this is silly. But no, she's a really good friend. Hope if you're out there, Nina, hey, what's going on? Yeah.
The marriage pact. I wonder if anyone's ever really scored.
I wonder. I would think usually people do it when they're young out of desperation, out of hopelessness. They're like, oh, I'm not going to find one when I'm 30, so I'm going to be with you, right? But then say they get to 30 and they're not with anybody. I mean, I guess maybe they'll do it. And if they did it, it's not the kind of love they were thinking. It's out of this partnership, I guess,
Cooperation,
yeah.
Splitting living expenses.
There we go. Half off the rent. The rent's going up in LA. I'll sell my car, we'll drive your Prius, I'll buy a bike kind of thing,
I can see it working.
I see it working. Have you thought about that yourself?
I mean, if somebody wanted to marry me at some point off in the future, I'd consider it.
Sure. I mean, people have married under odder circumstances, immigration, to hide their sexuality, so I'm sure it could work. It could definitely work. Probably be fun too, marrying your best friend, so.
Yeah. Could you, so Nina, have you and Nina been intimate ever? Or you guys are just really, you have a good chemistry as friends?
Wow. So yeah, we have been intimate.
Okay.
More so we were, and the time that we were intimate was very, very funny. It was very much like the Big Chill or Follow the Bride sort of. It was during a family reunion. She drove down 5 hours to see me, and so we had everyone in the house, from grandma to my sister. And I remember we were being intimate once. We were being intimate, and I went to Florida, that's where I'm from, visiting my dad. She drove down 5 hours from Tallahassee to see me. We're being intimate, and all of a sudden I hear screams like, he asked me, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? We have to hurry up, and her hair's a mess, and I put on clothes, and I go outside, and my sister got engaged. So, and then she comes out, her hair's all messy, and she's just got clothes on really quick. She looks like she just woke up. Oh, what's going on? Oh, I just got engaged. And I think everyone kind of knew what was going on with us. So
But you're still, the relationship couldn't survive the friendship. The friendship won out.
Well, I think what it was is just, it's not pragmatic. I live in California. She lives in Florida.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and she worked for local government. She worked for the state government actually. She worked under the governor. So it was important for her to maintain her career, and just logistics.
You guys are prime candidates for a marriage pact.
Yeah. I'm curious what she'll think about that. So.
I mean, if time is the only thing keeping you apart, let's wait it out.
We're both very similar. So.
You hear that happening sometimes. People, they get middle-aged.
Sure.
And they'll look up an old boyfriend or girlfriend or something.
Oh yeah, with Facebook and
then they'll fly because they're rutired. They have nothing really going on.
Sure.
They'll fly there and then they get married.
I've heard that happens quite often. We'll see. One thing I've learned. I'm 27 now. When it comes to something like love, it's quite often it's like an infection. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know when you're going to get sick. You can wash your hands all you want. You can try to stay away from it. But when it happens, it happens. And I learned that from experience and also working in jewelry stores. I used to always meet newlyweds and then people who were married for 30 years. And they would always tell me this, love happens when it happens. You have no control over it. So, yeah.
There's a lot of people who get together though.
What is the
who
other?
Don't have they don't really seem like they're in love. comes out of convenience, or if they fight all the time and stuff. At the jewelry store, would you see stuff like that? Like you could tell the guy like messed up bad, like he cheated or something.
Oh,
and it was
yeah. Well, I don't know about cheated,
an
but
appeasement.
I've definitely have had those instances of like, oh, this is gonna be bigger than flowers. What I just did, So get me that 10-carat ring right there. Give me that ruby sapphire ring. She likes white gold. Get her white gold. So I definitely had those incidences. And even in the clothing store that I work at, you see guys with their wife, girlfriend, and her lover, whoever, and they're just like letting her just like buy whatever you want. I got you. I think that's maybe just another stage of love. I mean, I'm sure you've disappointed a friend, a girlfriend, or boyfriend, whoever, family member, and
all the above.
Yeah, exactly. Pet. And you just have to appease them. It's like feeding the monster. Don't eat me. So.
At the jewelry store, did you ever get a guy buy an engagement ring? He's all excited. And he comes and returns it.
I've never had that. No, I had an incident like that, but it was under some unfortunate circumstances. A couple came in. They both had Down syndrome. And he bought his girlfriend an engagement ring. It was like so sweet, and I was like really happy for them. She was like really excited, and they left. And I was like, that's great, that's wonderful. Just another customer satisfied. 2 days later, their caretaker came in to return the ring. He'd spent his rent money on the engagement ring. So it was unfortunate. He obviously had good intentions, but it was one of the instances where you can't do this, buddy. You need your rent money. So, yeah.
Where's a person with Down syndrome get money from?
I imagine, well, if he has a caretaker, I imagine he gets some sort of maybe Social Security money. And I'm not sure, maybe something with family. But I imagine at least Social Security.
It's probably disability, something like that, yeah. Because I know that they give, they'll get jobs like sorting screws. They'll give them some just like menial job just to give them some kind of purpose.
Sure.
Or something.
Quite often grocery stores will hire them as baggers.
Yeah. Having Down syndrome seems, this is going to sound bad, but it seems not that bad. Because you can still do a lot of stuff.
Sure.
I mean, and I don't think you have Down syndrome. Right?
I would think you're aware that, I have done formal training with special needs, but I would think that you're aware that your cognitive ability may not be the same as the people to your right, your left, but it isn't that bad because you're alive. Whether you got Down syndrome, you're born with one leg, your retinas don't work, I think just being alive is like one of the greatest things ever. So I've met a lot of people who have a lot of disabilities, and they can do they've achieved 2 or 3 times more than you and I combined. So, yeah.
I've seen people with Down syndrome act in movies.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people with disabilities have been in movies.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, like, maybe I really don't have it. It's like, that actress, Marlee Matlin, who's deaf?
Yeah, she won an Oscar, I think.
Yeah, she's like a big-time actress.
Yeah.
How are there enough parts for a deaf? It defies logic.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, Adam. You got it too. Marlee's not better than you. You're not better than.
No, I know, but it's great. But I'm just saying, because you always, there's so many people who are like trying to make it as actors.
Sure.
As someone who can't even hear the director or anybody is like working all the time.
I'm glad you said this because it's something I've been thinking. Like, one thing I notice about stand-ups, the ones that are very successful are the ones that sort of own what we would call flaws or what makes them different, right? And I think someone who, like Marlee Matlin or an actor who has like Down syndrome or whatnot, they're not trying to be what they're not. They acknowledge the way they're born, and they make that a part of whatever they're trying to pursue, whether it be acting, painting, writing, what have you. And I think that's how she's so successful. I used to watch the show The L Word in college. That was like, everyone's watching Mad Men. I was watching The L Word. And I really liked the show. I bought all the seasons and shit. And she was on the show, and she acted really well. And she's done the roast, Comedy Central. Right, very illustrious career.
West Wing.
Yeah. Maybe get her on the show, man.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be dope,
I'm
yeah.
sure she'd do it too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Would you say comedians who own their flaws, which ones are you thinking of specifically?
there's two immediately, and one I booked him on my show. His name's Chevy Terrell, and I'm not sure, but he has I know he has to use a cane sometimes, or he has issues with his legs, and he's just made jokes about it. And essentially, he's just making fun of himself, and he's not afraid to make fun of himself. And I think that shows that he is very humble, and he's not arrogant in any way. No hubris. Another comedian, you've had him on your show. He's actually guest hosted for you, Kenny Lyons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He talks about a lot of the darkness in his life.
Oh yeah.
And he's not afraid.
Yeah,
And
I think that's really cool.
yeah, exactly. And those are some two comics.
Yeah, because I always think my favorite comedians are like the older ones, where you don't know anything about their personal life. Have like Chris Rock even.
Sure.
Yeah, he's married, or he was, but that's like all you really know.
Yeah, so like these
Or Jerry
comedians,
Seinfeld.
like they talk in the third person, kind of. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno, sure.
Bob Hope
Bob Hope.
is going really,
Very
but
good.
like nothing personal at all.
Sure.
It's just kind of this like, kind of fake personality.
Yeah.
It's them, but it's Chris Rock and Jerry Seinfeld and Jay Leno all pretty much have the same persona.
It's funny, like, I can see Jay Leno. He's more of like a new commentary on like men and women, the news. He never talks about personal. Chris Rock, I think sometimes he's talking personal. Like he'll talk about marriage, and sometimes I think maybe he's talking about his marriage, but he's talking about everybody.
Yeah.
Third person wise. And you're right. I think those are entertainers. I feel like those are like Bob Hope. Those.
Well, Bob Hope didn't even write his own jokes.
I didn't know that.
How do you get that job? You're like the richest, most successful entertainer for 50 years.
Yeah.
You don't even write your own material.
He didn't write. He wrote some of it or none of it.
From what my understanding is, none of it.
Really?
Maybe in the early days he put together an act for
Sure.
himself, but for the whole, USO.
USO tour in the 50s and all that jazz.
Yeah, just you hire writers.
Really? I would think maybe he wrote a little bit. I know it's very common for comedians to have, writers. I mean, even Louis C.K. wrote for Chris Rock, for a show, and even when he did like MTV Awards or something like that. Paul Mooney wrote for Pryor. I wonder who wrote for Bob Hope. Now I'm curious now you said that. I would think he wrote something. I would hope. But
I bet somebody good, like George Carlin or somebody.
Yeah.
In the early days.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny. Like I was watching an interview. Carlin didn't want to be like those guys. Like at first he was trying to be the straight and narrow, sort of like these guys. And then he's like, I don't want to do that.
Into a hippie.
Yeah, you want to be a hippie. You want to be a counterculture guy. I mean, he's a guy who got kicked out of the military. So I'm curious if he. I wonder if he wrote for Hope in the beginning. Who knows? Well, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. Pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, sweet.
Say some hacky jokes.
Some hacky jokes. Yeah, like
get an airport named after you.
Yeah, Bob Hope Airport, great airport.
Isn't it a great airport?
I've never flown out of it, but I've driven by it. It looks very nice.
It's great.
Really? Good food inside?
Normal, I think.
Normal?
Well, LAX, like the bigger airports now, will have like whatever the famous regional food is.
Sure.
Like Whataburger or whatever will be
Yeah.
in the airport.
God, what a burger. Man.
In Texas.
Yeah. Did you spend time in Texas?
Oh, yeah,
Reference
I'm from
it,
there. I was there a month ago.
Okay, honey butter chicken biscuit?
Yeah.
That's my go-to. Gotcha.
Yeah. But they'll do the like Whataburger in the airport.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, the Burbank one I think is just regular like au bon pear.
Sure.
But you see celebrities at the Burbank airport.
Ah.
You see celebrities at LAX too, but
Sure.
Burbank you see a lot.
Okay, interesting.
Because a lot of celebrities, this is what they don't tell you on TV. A lot of celebrities, you may have been shocked when you learned this when you moved out to LA. Not only do they work in the valley, they live in the valley.
Yeah, I've recently been learning that. Yeah.
A lot of celebrities spend most of their time in the valley.
Makes sense. It's sort of like out there. It's away from like most of the population, So.
If you live in the Hollywood Hills, Burbank's just right there.
Yeah, there we go. Who have you run in at the airport that you
I only flew out there once, but I saw John McEnroe, the tennis player.
Yeah.
And he had a tennis racket with him. And he was getting angry. That's the thing he's known for.
Did
is
he
getting
say,
angry.
you can't be serious? Did he utter that?
He didn't say that, but he was just like, I thought like a sky cap or something.
Sure.
He wasn't like furious, like throwing the racket around, but he seemed a little short fuse.
Is it because the show got canceled? Was he upset? You know, he had a show called McEnroe on MSNBC.
The sitcom.
Yeah. No, he had a talk show.
Oh.
It was like on MSNBC.
Yes.
It was like ran for like maybe 2 seasons.
Did he do some acting? He was in
an
Adam Sandler movie.
I think it was Was it Big Daddy?
Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds. Okay. Yeah, you're right. He shows him how to play tennis, and then he hits him in the neck with the ball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He John McEnroe.
I love it when a random person will show up in a movie who like will never be like movie The Animal, and it had Rob Schneider.
Okay, I've actually never seen that movie, but please.
Well, you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
But the love interest in it was on Survivor.
Oh yeah.
And that was her only movie she was ever in.
Yeesh. Yeah, the one with the pixie cut, right?
She's kind of short hair, yeah.
Yeah.
Colleen, something.
Sort of like, she looks like a Natalie Portman kind of.
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah, she's cute.
But yeah, only one movie ever.
Yeah, it's rough.
The tough business.
Yeah, man. Especially when you don't have talent, I guess.
Yeah. When you bring nothing to the table.
Yeah.
But to even get it in the first place, it's just really.
I mean, clearly someone was like, all right, we're going to propel you into stardom. We're going to start with this Rob Schneider movie. I know people like they shit on Rob Schneider. I actually like Rob Schneider. He's a really funny guy.
Have you seen his Netflix show?
Yeah, is it the
Real Rob?
Real Rob, the sitcom. He's like him and his wife and stuff.
His real wife who writes it with him.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, and it's like outsider like filmmaking. It's I can't believe he's been working in Hollywood for like close to 30 years. It's so bad.
I saw it's like sort of CBS like, right? I saw one episode. It's like he's in a suit and he's like. His wife's upset at him. I think
it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
If it were made by Tommy Wiseau.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Then I must have not seen the entire thing because I don't know. I feel like I saw the first episode. I can't recall images, but I felt like as if I was pleased enough. Well, maybe I wasn't pleased because I didn't watch the second episode. So
it's real bad.
Really?
If you like really torturously bad, like scratch your head how. You're out there every night trying to do comedy, and then like...
How did someone turn in a first draft and say, we should do this?
Yeah, how did Netflix... like, multiple people had to say yes. Like, you see somebody, go do a stand-up set at open mic, or even if they get booked or whatever.
Sure.
They decided that's what they thought was funny, and they wanted to go do it, and it's just like...
Yeah.
They're acting alone.
Sure.
A TV show, like a bad movie or something like that. This, yeah.
I don't know. It's
It had that bad lighting.
That
always gives it away.
I don't know, man.
Lighting and sound.
Netflix. It was on Netflix, right? The show. And Netflix was interesting. They clearly the show did well enough. I know there was that Adam Sandler movie that people didn't like, The Sinister Six or what is it?
It was like racist
one.
Or something.
Yeah, the cowboy.
What isn't racist these days?
Yeah. But people didn't like the movie, right? But supposedly the movie was like #1 in like 18 territories. So I know people shit on Rob Schneider, they shit on Adam Sandler, but like somewhere out there, not just in America, but the world, people are eating this up, and they love it,
Like Netflix has stumbled on the truth that people will really watch anything.
Yeah, they will. They make everything. They put everything on there.
Yeah, if all you have is Netflix, you're gonna just watch Netflix.
Yeah. What's the worst, other than Real Rob, what's the worst show or even movie you've seen and you're like, what? How the hell did this get fucking made?
Pretty much everything I watch, the worst ever.
But sometimes you can hate watch stuff.
Or I do. Yeah, I like to do that.
Yeah.
If it's good, bad. But some things are just
like utterly ugh.
Yeah. I got when Hollywood Video went out of business on the very last day, just liquidating all the DVDs. Yeah. On the last day, everything that was left was like a dime. It's like 10 cents.
Really, like Species 4.
Yeah, so I picked up a lot of that stuff. And that stuff, it's just like,
Yeah.
there's no story. But
No.
somebody had to pay a lot of money. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
I don't get it. It's a crazy world we
It's
live
great.
in.
It's a business. People trying to make $1. Like, hey, someone's gonna buy koala versus dragon. Someone's gonna buy it. Let's make it. You know.
So Chris, where can people find you and not the other Chris Sanders?
Oh,
comedian?
okay. Well, you can find me at Saks Fifth Avenue, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30 in Beverly Hills. If you want to get
Right
up.
down Wilshire?
Yeah, Wilshire. Let's get lunch. Also on Tuesdays, I host a comedy show with my co-host Cooper Lee, my Cambodian cohort, as I like to call him, from 8 to 10 at Solar Day Cahuenga on the corner of Franklin and Cahuenga. Yeah.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hope cleared anything up, any questions you had about the show,
Sure.
how it worked or anything like that. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. Until next time, this is Adam Papagan reminding you that there's a place you can go, and it's your mind. Good night.
That was quick.